everybody. Web3, NFT, Metaverse, DAO fans. This is another episode of the DAO and Envelop podcast. I'm your host, as always, Eugene Creeper MC, and please welcome my today's super experienced guest. You might have seen him on different Web3 resources. He is Bart Hillerich. He is Metaverse Market analyst, researcher, and writer in the NFT and the Metaverse sector. He is the team member of WilderWorld. He is responsible for external communications, and WilderWorld is the multi-layered, immersive 5D metaverse, first truly liquid, fully decentralized community-led NFT marketplace. So many buzzwords, I love it. With no artist fees and its own dynamic token system that rewards participants. Sounds fantastic. So Bart, it's great to have you on our podcast. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and thanks for that awesome intro. I appreciate it.
Your story is fascinating. As me, you started in crypto in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. You've been in the space for
2017
for 5 years. A lot of people started in this year after ICO hype. So tell us briefly your story in crypto. How did you get there, and what have been your results till today?
I have a bit of an interesting story as to how I got in, honestly. So I was entering college, and I needed a fake ID to get into bars and that kind of stuff, which ended up not working very well because of the school that I went to and how strict they are there. But yeah, needed a fake ID and had a friend that was supposed to kind of help me get one, and ended up getting scammed by him. So not really much of a friend anymore. But then my buddy and I kind of were like, okay, well, I'm sure we could figure out how to do it, and ended up having to use Bitcoin. So then we kind of got into Bitcoin and in crypto. And I remember when we kind of made that first transaction, it was like we had kind of gone through this process and made $50 because the price just went up. And I was like, this must be something. What is Bitcoin? Like, what actually is going on here? And then went into the white paper, and it's kind of just been a crazy roller coaster ride ever since then, and just been, really all in.
Excellent. You have a nice experience. You were a writer of articles, freelance writer for Hacker Noon, Experience Media, for Cointelegraph. So you, as I do understand, you have a talent to explain difficult things by the layman terms, and this is our option I would love to use during all our episodes today. So how do you explain what is the metaverse?
Yeah, I think it's something that is really a buzzword right now. Like, a lot of people are trying to just throw it around there for marketing and that kind of stuff. But the way that really makes sense to me is kind of the metaverse is just the next evolution of the internet, right? So similar to how you wouldn't call just like a traditional website the internet, you wouldn't necessarily call a project like a Web3 project the metaverse. So like, I wouldn't personally call WilderWorld the metaverse. I wouldn't call Sandbox the metaverse. I wouldn't call Decentraland the metaverse. I look at them as metaverse applications or metaverse platforms that people can have incredible experiences on and build upon them. And kind of there's not really a way to define these applications in a way that encompasses all of them, because they're all so different. But the metaverse, just to me, is the next evolution of the internet, and I think that it absolutely has to be blockchain integrated. I don't think that what Mark Zuckerberg's doing with Meta over there, I don't think that that's actual metaverse. I think that that's almost a trick in a sense, because you could be on their platform, you could have digital assets and be under the illusion that you own them, but you're not necessarily able to transact them on the blockchain. And if you do something that Facebook doesn't like, they could ultimately just close your account, and then you have nothing. So I think that the metaverse 100% needs to be on blockchain. It needs to be open, interoperable, and people need to really just have true digital freedom for the first time ever, essentially.
I don't know if you are familiar with a sort of 10 laws of metaverse, famous article from one Web3 person. The first law of metaverse sounds like you cannot own the metaverse. So dear Mark Zuckerberg, you cannot own metaverse. So Meta is not the metaverse. Everybody, very clear, and most people are free agrees with that. But what is 5-dimension immersive metaverse mean in the context of a WilderWorld, which you do not consider as the metaverse, as you already said? So, or explain how WilderWorld is different from other metaverses, because these guys accept us, they call it metaverse.
Yeah, so I mean, just to, I guess, explain 5D a little bit more, we really refer to WilderWorld as like a 5D metaverse platform, just because it's fully immersive, and it really just places citizens into this transcendent place of conscious that, you know, no one's really experienced before. And it's really like a way to just level up as a human race. And, you know, our experience is one that really just manifests abundance for participants, and we want to be this beacon of freedom that's really in contrast to dystopias that big tech corporations are working to engineer today, right? So it's, you know, 5D maintains all the visual aspects of 3D, but it just adds this level of a visceral and emotional experience. And it's really this higher state of perceived reality where people can just connect at a quantum level without any limitations as there might be in the real world.
Yeah, by the way, dear viewers, I personally suggested to visit the YouTube channel of the WilderWorld. You may find it on the link on the website. For looking by your own eyes, what does it mean 5D by visualization? These guys have one of the best visualizations I've ever seen regarding metaverses. Metaverse is quite a visual sphere, but what these guys have been doing, this is awesome, really awesome. I do understand that the very strong team stays behind the WilderWorld with visualization skills. So the concept of WilderWorld Metaverse Market, WWMM, that's abbreviation. Is that the main goal of the WilderWorld, and how will this thing will be differ from other Web3 marketplaces, which we have a lot?
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's not like the end goal. It's really just another aspect of what we're doing. You know, what really makes us unique is that we're, to my knowledge, the only metaverse platform application that's out there that's going to actually funnel 100% of profits back to users. So participants are really the ones who will benefit in the rise of WilderWorld, which is just, you know, never really been done before, and it's still not being done outside of what we're doing. And then, you know, that's going to be this photorealistic immersive experience powered by Unreal Engine 5, and like you said, that's why the animations are really so high level, because we just have an amazing team working with Unreal Engine behind that. And then so it'll really just be like first of its kind type of application there. And then the actual marketplace is going to be, you know, similar to a marketplace like Binance or Coinbase. It's going to actually be fully liquid. So a big problem with NFTs today is that the top NFTs are too expensive, right? Like an average person can't go and buy a Bored Ape, they can't go buy a Clonex and all these other projects. And they're also fairly illiquid, right? Like even if I own a Bored Ape or like a highly desirable project, I still can't sell it unless someone specifically wants to buy mine. So we're building a marketplace that is fully liquid and also offers things like NFT fractionalization. So, you know, basically just part ownership of NFTs and that kind of stuff. So really kind of pushing NFT ownership into the next level, and just, you know, it'll be the first of its kind as well.
Well, now I understand more the term what is first truly liquid. Thank you for explanation. By the way, dear viewers, we've already had a podcast episode about fractionalization of NFT. Just look on the playlist in the podcast. So, Bart, thank you for mentioning this as a term. I love it because NFT is the main goal of the Envelop protocol, whom I'm presenting for and for whom I'm making this podcast. So how do you see the major roles of NFT in the wild world? Is that such a building blocks for this metaverse? From my side, I think they is expected to be highly used on every corner of the wild world. Is that correct?
Yeah, so actually every single object, even the land in WilderWorld will be an NFT. So that's going from the avatar that you experience WilderWorld in. That's your vehicles, your home, again, the land, clothing, personal items, just absolutely everything will be an NFT. And that's really why it's so important for us to have a liquid NFT marketplace, because when you think about it, we have a goal of having 1 million people when we launch to actually get into WilderWorld and experience it. So you'd have to imagine that each of those people have, like 5 to 10 NFTs when they start, right? So, when you think about the possibility of like launch day having millions of NFTs, there has to be a much easier way to actually transact them and much better ownership perks than kind of what's currently available in today's ecosystem. So that's really a big part of why the marketplace is coming in as well. I mean, everything is run on NFTs with what we're doing.
By the way, could you please briefly describe the team who stays behind the WilderWorld? Because this sort of project need to be done by a very qualified team. Who are they? Who are these guys?
Yeah, so we've got a number of co-founders, but our two main I would say figureheads are Frank Wilder and Neo. So Frank Wilder's really kind of the artist, and then Neo's what we refer to as the architect. So really leading our development team and essentially inventing technology that just doesn't exist right now to make this an actual reality. And Frank's just one of the pioneering 3D artists in the space. So they both have very interesting stories about how they kind of got into crypto and came to found WilderWorld. But I mean, they've been at this for about 7-8 years now, and overall our team is made up of 100+ people globally. It's just a tremendous effort to be a part of, and the people I get to really converse with every day, it's always a blessing.
Yeah, our speaker whom I talked to was great that community matters in the success of every Web3 project, and especially loved the phrase community-led NFT marketplace, which is a definition of the WilderWorld. So my question is, does community play so crucial role in the success of WilderWorld? And how do you personally, Bart Hillerich, help to grow the community?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of like me growing the community, I mean, I actually started with the community. I was a community member before I joined the team about 2 months ago, and really kind of, I guess, was making personal contributions to the project just to, I guess, help get the word out there. I mean, I wrote a Hacker Noon article that I basically just had it act as like a definitive guide to the project, because there was so much information out there about WilderWorld, but I felt like it was scattered, and there was maybe 15 people total in the community that like fully understood the project. So I kind of took it upon myself to make something that would be easy to read so everyone could kind of have a amazing understanding of it. And to your question about how important community is with us, I mean, it's everything, right? And that's why we're driving 100% of profits back to the community, which we refer to as citizens. We're really building what will be like a digital nation state, and that's kind of the end goal. So I mean, they mean absolutely everything to us, and kind of another end goal is really just to be able to have this project live far beyond the lifespan of the founders, the current development team, myself. It's going to be 100% community owned and run, and we've actually just recently taken a really big step to that in launching our new DAO app on the WilderWorld website. So really getting to the point where people are able to kind of transparently see our wallets and kind of the funds that are in them, and we'll start implementing voting processes and NFT staking and that kind of stuff further along the line. So it's going to be 100% focused on community, and that's really where we're at right now.
Yeah, I especially love to when the term state or digital state is used when describing welfare project. Sounds quite contradictory for me, but this is the topic for another talk, not for another podcast. When we got prepared for this podcast with our team, my team, when they realized that we going to be talking with you about NFTs in the metaverse, they asked me to ask you about the followings. The Envelop protocol, it is concerned about wrapping NFT concept, and this concept allows NFT to use NFT as a sort of a magic container for any crypto assets inside, and this container has new features which are useful for dozens of use cases. And in particular, one of the use cases we've been developing is concerning about advertising in the metaverse. So any NFT in the metaverse, for example, a virtual wall of the virtual building, may be used, it may be converted into advertising space, like we do see it in the real world, big boards and so on and so forth. So this connects Web3 advertisers and Web3 audience, nevertheless. So Envelop has had an extensive tracking and analysis capabilities on this use case. So we are wondering, what do you think about this, the future of advertising in metaverses at all, and especially in WilderWorld metaverse? Does it sound sort of worth to talk to?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak on it from the perspective of WilderWorld because I don't really know what the founders are thinking in terms of advertisements, but this is a topic I've actually talked about on my own podcast, and I kind of see it as like a balancing act, right? Because the metaverse is going to kind of bleed into real life as well, right? Like we'll have NFT applications and Web3 applications through AR glasses and that kind of stuff, right? So no one wants to be walking around with AR glasses seeing ads pop up every 2 seconds, right? And kind of similarly, when you're in a virtual, immersive experience like WilderWorld or other metaverse platforms like Sandbox and Decentraland and all the others, right? You don't want to just be overwhelmed by ads. So I think it's really just a balancing act that each platform and developer is kind of going to have to set boundaries to start, and then just continue to fine tune over time just what the right amount of ads really is. And I'm sure there's just creative mechanisms for kind of going about advertisements in the metaverse that no one's really thought of yet, which is super exciting. I mean, there's plenty of things that we have no idea is coming with this stuff, right? So I'm sure there will be some really cool advertisement techniques used as well.
Yeah, I get you there. Perhaps metaverse is not the realm where people would like to go to see the ads. They go there for not seeing the ads, and this concept maybe theoretically and practically is a good use case, but we will see how will it be used. Maybe these kind of metaverses, which will have little ads or have no ads at all, will be much popular.
Okay, yeah, and maybe platforms take the approach of Brave browser, where users are actually paid to look at ads, as opposed to kind of traditionally how it's working in Web 2. So I'm just interested in seeing how it goes. There's definitely going to be ads, though. It's just how much will there be?
Yeah. Where is WilderWorld on its roadmap for now? What are its plans for 2022? Maybe you are hiring. Whom do you need? What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, in terms of hiring, I know we are hiring. I don't have like specific requests that I can give you right now, just because I'm not the one currently handling that stuff. But and as far as our roadmap goes, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff coming up. We're about to launch our Wilder Beasts NFT project that's coming out real soon. So those will be launching April 13th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then we have Wilder Moto coming up as well, which are going to be Metaverse motorcycles. And then we have our Air Wild Season 2 coming out soon, which are basically Metaverse sneakers designed by Chad Knight, who's our head of cyberware. And he joined us after being the head of 3D design at Nike. So he's been an incredible asset to us and just a tremendously nice guy to talk to and super knowledgeable about the space as well.
Well, give us your visionary. How do you see the metaverse will inevitably have changed our lives in upcoming 5 or 10 years? Let's dream a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's really just it's something we could talk about for hours, right? I mean, another thing on our roadmap is we have land coming up, and just looking at land, I mean, that's something I personally see as like the holy grail of NFTs, right? And I think it's going to change a lot of people's lives that really get into these types of land assets early, because as time progresses and more corporations come in and traditional businesses, they're going to be looking to have, storefronts and experiences. So people that own the land, they're going to be the ones that are able to really reap the benefit of these companies coming in looking to purchase assets or even rent land to utilize. And then kind of just other big picture stuff. I mean, I really think that with COVID-19 and how so many things became virtual with the pandemic, I think the metaverse is just going to speed up that process even further. I think that there's huge room for education in the metaverse. I remember like personally going through the pandemic and being in college, there was, a lot of my friends really struggled with grades. They struggled with attention span while being on Zoom calls and trying to learn about, a university topic, right? And sometimes there's boring professors and all this kind of stuff. People struggle not being in person and having like a human connection with their peers and their teachers. So I don't think virtual education is going anywhere, but in the metaverse, I think it'll be much better than what we're able to do right now, because you'll be able to be fully immersed in the experience, and it could be some, super tech focused like virtual classroom, and there could be all these cool like tools to interact with, and it might even feel like you're actually in a classroom. So I think that'll be a pretty big application. And we've also seen just a huge shift from working in offices to working remotely. And with COVID, I think a lot of people realize that they like to work from home. So I think that the metaverse is going to provide a lot of opportunity there as well, with kind of virtual office spaces and very just, innovative and new ways to collaborate. And then I think the third main thing that I'm looking for is play to earn, right? Like the concept that I can play a video game or some sort of gaming experience and earn money just for playing it, right? Like traditionally with video games, the people who make the money from video games are the creators and developers. And then we have kind of the top percent of content creators. So whether that's YouTubers or TikTok, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And then the third group would be kind of the players that are able to compete competitively, and maybe they're the top, 1% of 1% of the whole gamer base of a specific game, right? So those are really the three main categories that can make money right now. But with play to earn, everyone will be able to make money just playing video games. And I think that this is going to provide an incredible opportunity for a lot of people that currently struggle to make a living. Just think about people with disabilities, and people that might just have like struggles with working in like a fast-paced environment or struggle socially and those kinds of things. Now they'll have like a really amazing tool at their disposal to actually make a living through play to earn. So I'm really interested in seeing kind of how those things play out. And I think it's going to be really, really good for humanity as long as we do it the right way.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. I totally agree. Having said about education, you totally anticipated my next question about education. I would paraphrase learning, because metaverse, in particular, and Web3 in real, in general, requires a lot of learning. I've been learning for 5 years, and I'm learning every day, listening to podcasts, reading texts, and so on and so forth. By the way, I really love guys from Bankless Podcast, Ryan Adams, and David Hoffman. So if you meet them on events, yes, greetings for them from our Eastern Europe side. We love them guys. So what I'm trying to say, we need a lot of learn if we stay on the way on the metaverse. How to learn about metaverse? What would be your suggestions? How to do that? Maybe what are your favorite learning resources? How to learn how to do? Any recommendations for our audience?
Yeah. So first, I will say that I'm a part of a project called Metasync, and my partner and I are really trying to make like a metaverse focused, almost like a coin market cap. And we're trying to really rationalize kind of these markets, because right now a lot of people really focus on the price of tokens and not much else. But I'm a super research oriented guy, my partner is as well. So we're looking to create like a new website along with a YouTube channel, podcasts, and all that kind of stuff, where users have highly curated content that provides really valuable insight to all of these projects. We want to have a ranking system for metaverse projects that kind of goes off of things other than just like the token price. So, who's the team behind it? Like, how qualified are they? What technology are they using? How innovative are they? Just overall assessing how promising these projects are, and then being able to have like a ranking system from that. So that this is a project that is about like a month and a half, 2 months in. So we're not fully ready to provide all of this stuff yet, but we do have a website, we do have a Twitter, YouTube, and podcasts right now. And that's just a project that will continue to grow over time, and super excited to be a part of it. But other than Metasync, yeah, I mean, I really love listening to a lot of different podcasts. I think Anthony Pompliano is fantastic. I think on the Bitcoin front, I think that Cafe Bitcoin's probably the best podcast in crypto that I've listened to, period. I mean, I've been in Bitcoin for 5 years now, and I'm learning stuff from them every single day. That's just blowing my mind. And then I would say, just in general, don't trust what people say on Twitter. Like there's certain people that are great to follow, but you have to assume that everyone has an alternative motive. Everyone's trying to profit off of their followers. If you find a project that you really like, just take the time to really, really research it before you kind of reach the point that you're willing to invest in it. And this is actually something I kind of talked about in a Twitter thread recently, is kind of the point of reaching like high conviction or even ultimate conviction, right? Like, it's, for me personally, it's a process that takes at least a month to kind of finally get to the point where I'm like, okay, I want to buy into this project, right? Like, so many people fall into this trap of FOMO, and I have to buy in right now because the price is good, or I have to buy in right now because I just saw a cool trailer, or I read the white paper and liked it. You really have to take time to go through all of the available materials that are out there, and watch how the project reacts to the markets. I mean, one of my key indicators for kind of getting into projects is just seeing how the team handles adversity. And this goes for metaverse projects and especially NFT projects. Like when the project comes on like hard times, how do they respond? Like, do they maintain like high communication with the community? Do they continue to put out process or progress? And just how do they react to that kind of stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, adversity just makes companies and projects. So I always love looking at that kind of stuff. And yeah, just really kind of watching how they respond to markets as well, because as we've seen in the past, in bear markets, a lot of projects die because people get less interested in crypto, and maybe their treasury wasn't in like stable coin or cash, and now they can't pay their people because their token's down 90%, right? So seeing how teams respond to bear markets is also really important too. Are they continuing to develop? Is progress being made, and are new innovations coming out despite the overall conditions of the industry? So yeah, just really doing like deep research on everything before you buy in, and just considering kind of all aspects of a project, and just always remember that there will be another opportunity tomorrow. You don't have to buy into anything right now or this week or this month. There will always be something else that you can seize as a great opportunity. Just be patient in this game.
Yeah, this has been the brilliant moment of the podcast. I was listening to you carefully. You've become a truly researcher. These they're the words from the truly researcher, real recommendations from the guy who knows how to research the project. That was great. So considering that you are working full-time for WilderWorld, do you have time to act as independent writer like you were before? And if yes, how to follow your independent content? Where?
Yeah, I mean, it's been very busy working for WilderWorld, so I haven't published a personal article in quite a bit, but I've been working on some really big writing focus projects for WilderWorld. So that's kind of taking up my writing creativity and energy right now, but those things are actually going to be wrapping up pretty soon. So then I will be able to actually start writing more and putting out more content in that area. I would honestly just say, like, follow me on Twitter. It's Bart_Hillerich. So just my name with a underscore in the middle. That's really where you can kind of just keep up on everything that I'm doing. So there's kind of in a transitionary period of my life right now. I mean, I'm moving across the country, new job, like starting up Medicine Inc., all this stuff going on. So really looking to get kind of settled into a normal routine and normal life in the next month or two, and then there should be a much more consistent stream of written articles and content and all that kind of stuff too.
Okay, got you. So finally, Bart, how to follow WilderWorld and how to join WilderWorld if somebody needs this for his purposes.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, our Twitter is definitely like the main source of everything that we do, and that's just at WilderWorld. And we have a link tree in our bio that can lead you to our Metaverse Market, our Looks Rare, OpenSea. Definitely join our Discord. We have, honestly, like, I'm not just saying this, we have the best Discord community I've ever been a part of, and that's again, like, that's where I started with this project. And we have such a genuine, like, kind, caring community. Like, people are willing to share stories about their lives and really connect with each other in a way that I haven't seen anywhere else. And what I've noticed is these people really truly do care about the project, and they're really able to provide a lot of fantastic constructive criticism that we're able to implement. It's never really gotten to the point where people are just expressing FUD and it's toxic. And I'm sure you've been in Discords like that where the community just derails the project. We've never gotten even close to that. It's always been just very nice constructive criticism. And I mean, these people are all just incredibly smart as well. And I'm in a couple group chats with other community members where I've gotten just incredible alpha information on different NFT projects and that kind of stuff. So these are people that are really great to interact with, connect with, and build relationships with. So I would definitely follow our Twitter, head to the link tree, and hop in the Discord.
Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, all the links are written below in the description. Thank you very much, Bart, for your honest and brilliant explanation. This has been quite informative episode about metaverses and NFT and metaverses. And just because you are experienced writer and you may talk in simple terms. This has been extremely educational episodes about Metaverses, all in our long history of our podcast. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe, share, join our community, subscribe to your channel, join Telegram chat. Feel free to ask any questions there. Bart Hillerich, the representative of the WilderWorld and the Eugene Crypto MC, were with you in this episode of the DAO Envelop podcast. Stay tuned for next episodes of our content. Bye-bye.